We are recording. Okay, so day four. So today was going to be one of the specific mindfulness interventions, but I'm going to do a quick, I guess, mindfulness recap. And some of that is, I'm just going to, where can I do that? Can I do that? Yeah, pin that. So it goes. Okay. So basically, the first thing is a bit of a summary, which leads up to this point from, which adds all. Why am I delaying at your end?
No.
Oh, that's interesting. What is it doing here? Okay. So I'm going to draw upon each of the days up to this point as well.
Okay.
So the first thing I want to do is just for you to just check in. Just get an opportunity to check in, see how you are feeling right now. Just notice how if there's any tension, what you're thinking, what the body's feeling. And when you've done that, we're just going to do that thing. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. We talked about tummy breathing on Monday. So it's going to invite you to take 3 deep breaths. So I'll leave you to do that now. Okay. So I know for me, that's already kind of, for one of it, grounded me. That's already brought me back to kind of a bit of a really nice calm space. So that's building upon Mondays when we talk about the importance of breath work, the breathing out for twice as long as you breathe in. What I want to do now is touch on something we did yesterday, because I'm going to play I'm just going to play a short video. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So hopefully you've got the YouTube screen come on the screen now. I need to change the settings so you can hear the audio. Sorry. I forgot to do that. Share sound. Okay. So this is a a recording. So this is, I guess, what I want to emphasize here is resources that are out there. So there's apps like Calm, Headspace. There's loads of YouTube resources out there, all of which you can access. So whenever we're talking about well-being, we don't want it to be difficult. We want it to be easy and accessible. So this is me, I guess, showing or sharing and creating the invitation for you to be curious, to use resources out there to see if you can connect with them, because I think that's the important bit here, that there is variety, there is choice. So try them.
Have you any recommendations, Andrew, with regards to apps? Because I know there's quite a few that you get sort of 4 weeks free, and then you have to start paying for them. It might be in somebody's capability to pay, but if they can't afford to pay, do you have any recommendations on? Because you're right, there are lots out there, and without sitting and downloading them all and seeing, which ones are free and which ones aren't. Do you have any sort of go-to apps that you would recommend?
I would definitely recommend Insight Timer. So okay. Insight Timer is free entirely, and there is quite a variety of content there. Also YouTube. YouTube is a little bit more.
I never think of YouTube.
There's so much there. So what I'm sharing now is the resources that I've created for when I do my mindfulness training, and I'll point the attendees to these videos to use as their home practice for that kind of next week.
Yeah.
So we did yesterday, when we talked briefly about mindfulness, a very, what we call we did a 3-step breathing space. And this is just really just to emphasize the use of using recording material and see how you connect with it. So it's really short. This one's just over 4 minutes. So I'm just going to play the intro. I just want your confirmation you can hear the audio.
This is a 3-step breathing space.
That's okay, is that okay? Perfect. So, okay, so this is my invitation for you now. We're just going to take just over 4 minutes. This is 4 minutes for you. Okay, so I'll probably say it in the introduction, but I'll say it now. Just make sure you're sat comfortably. The invitation is to close your eyes if you're comfortable to do so. If not, just simply lower your gaze and stare at a point ahead of you, slightly angled down. Okay.
This is a 3-step breathing space. You can use the 3-step breathing space as much as you like, simply to bring your awareness back to this present moment with kindness and no judgment. Using it as often as you feel the need to. In step 1, awareness. Becoming aware of what's occurring right now, in this very moment. What is the experience right now? Being curious, acknowledging thoughts, emotions. What is present at this moment? Noticing body sensations, gathering the awareness through the senses. Turning towards the experiences with kindness, acknowledging what is happening right now. Simply allowing this experience. In step 2, gathering the awareness of the thoughts, emotions, and body sensations, gathering it on to the breath being our anchor. Using the breath when we notice our mind wandering, as the mind does. Just noticing and using the breath as an anchor, simply coming back to the sensations of the breath, following its rhythm and experience. Noticing the breathing in and breathing out. And anchoring ourselves right now down through the body to our feet. Experience this grounding experience. And step 3, expanding. Still with the breath as our anchor, simply expanding the whole of the experience, expanding it into the body as a whole, expanding this awareness into the whole body, being with this experience with curiosity and kindness, and expanding the groundedness and experience into the body and into your day ahead, as this 3-step breathing space comes to an end.
So there you go. So I wanted to bring that in almost as an experiential stepping stone of maybe kind of touching on what we've spoke about this week. We spoke about the importance of breath. We spoke about how we see the world around us. And yesterday, I guess, was something really practical. We started talking about the mindfulness. And that is, that's the combination of 2 short exercises. And I know I can feel the cadence in my voice different now. And so I'm just curious, to see if you feel a difference now if you check in.
I do. You know how stressed I was feeling when I came in. And now I feel much calmer.
Good. Okay. So that was really, I wanted to kind of set that scene to notice how 2 very simple practices can make an impact. And I found it was important to kind of create that felt sense of change before talking about these next couple of things. So within mindfulness, there are 2 formal, sorry, there's more than 2, but there's 2 prime streams of mindfulness training, and they are mindfulness-based stress reduction and mindfulness-based cognitive therapy. So MBSR, MBCT. And they're both 8-week trainings, which are 2 hours each week over 8 weeks. And within those trainings, now I'm talking specifically here about MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction. We talk about things which are called practices in a pocket. And I think I've used that term really to describe this week, because I think go to bits of information, go to things you can practically do, are practices in your pocket you can just pull out once you have the awareness that they're there. One of the first ones that we talk about within mindfulness is 3-step breathing space, because it can simply be 3 minutes. It can be 3 breaths. If with anything that you practice, it becomes very familiar. You anchor a familiarity, you anchor a feeling. So where a formal 3-minute practice repeated over several weeks can suddenly turn into, when you need it, 3 simple breaths. One of the other practices we talk about, it's got the acronym STOP. So S is stop and stand. T is take a moment and tune in. O is opportunity to change our reaction. P is possibility. So so that's what they stand for. So that, I guess, talk around them. Stop, literally what it says. If you, and again, there's an if here, that because when you have the awareness that something is happening that you're not happy with, whether it's a behavior, a feeling, an emotion, something, when you have the awareness that this isn't what you want it to be, then think, okay, stop. And this is an opportunity to do the 3 breaths so that we're reoxygenating the brain and we're taking ourselves perhaps away from the fight or flight, and we're coming back to rest and digest. So stop and stand, perhaps feeling your feet upon the floor, but do those 3 tummy breaths. Then it's to take a moment to tune in. And this, I guess, in some respects, is a little bit of what was in the 3-step breathing space at the moment. It's you being curious about what's going on. Take a moment to tune into your body. Notice how you're physically reacting to whatever's going on right now. Because that's going to bring it into your awareness. So you've stopped, and just take that opportunity now just to see what is actually going on for you and what's going on around you. Oh, opportunity to change our reaction. Again, if you've tuned in, you're seeing the reality. You're noticing what, if you're holding tension, so can you just relax for a moment? You need to take another few deep breaths. You're looking for the opportunities to change. You've tuned in, you've noticed what's going on. What is it you want to change? What is it you want to do different? And you're just creating those options. And the P is simply that there's possibility. You've created a possibility for change. So it's literally that there are new possibilities. So that's a simple stop. So stand, take opportunity to take a moment to tune in, look at the opportunities to create change, and notice that then from that change, there's new possibilities. I can put, I think I share that as a little handout, because it's a simple thing to say, and I know it sounds interesting. Sorry, that's an assumption. It's all in the delivery. There's another one, okay, called Rain, and I always have to keep looking these up because I always forget the kind of the detail. So Rain is recognize, acknowledge or allow, interest or investigate, and N is non-identity. There's some strong similarities. So again, this is what I was talking about earlier, where the kind of recordings. When there's options, then it creates choices. If it gets choices, it's empowerment. So I've said stop. This is Rain. So first of all, recognize what's difficult in this present moment. And sometimes, we'll come on to this in a moment, but you have to be honest with yourself, because I think sometimes we can be our own worst enemy, and we don't want to really factually acknowledge what's going on. And I think if we have to be truthful with, at least with ourselves in first case, because that's when the biggest opportunities are coming, when you actually you recognize what difficult emotions are present right now, that you're not happy with, because if you dismiss it, it's still there, and you're only going to be working on the wrong thing. Acknowledge or allow. So we simply nod in its direction, and so this is just, so we've recognized it. We also want to acknowledge it. Now, one of the biggest things that I experience when I work one-to-one with people is sometimes the biggest change comes just from talking and conversation. So the person I'm working with, they simply need to have acknowledged what's actually happening for them, because it may be that you've just created a safe space that they've been able to share. So we've recognized what's going on. We then want to acknowledge what's going on. So again, that could be just take a moment and really feel it, because maybe we've tried to turn away from it before. Interest or investigate. This draws upon what I spoke about something yesterday, to be curious. Become curious about what this moment actually feels like in the body. So we've acknowledged what's going on. Now be curious. Now that we're being truthful, we're being honest, we're acknowledging it, then kind of sit with it for a bit. Be curious about, I notice it maybe is tension in my chest or butterflies in my tummy, but do I notice it anywhere else now that I'm really sitting with it? One of the interesting things, and this maybe is a statement that picks up on the recognize, acknowledge, and investigate, is what we resist will persist, and it rhymes nicely, and it's a fact. If we don't acknowledge something, it stays there. So if we resist it, it will persist. And so the more attention and curiosity we can give to something, the more depth of understanding we can get from it. Be mindful or be curious about the fact of what is actually happening, and at the same time, the N, non-identity. Don't get attached to the label as an identity. So we might feel the sensation, we might be curious and investigate it in our body. It doesn't mean we need to have to get caught up in a story and follow it.
Is that how you then link it to what you were saying about the trains, isn't it? You know, not giving it an identity is not getting on the train, isn't it?
Absolutely, and that's that. Yeah, I think you've just kind of chucked a little bit of a life raft to me there. Brilliant, lovely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't give it identity, because if we give it an identity, you're right, we're going to get on that train and it's going to tell us a story, and then that we just go away with the story and it takes us somewhere else, and we've lost the root cause that we started with, where we can really make some change. So these simple acronyms of STOP and RAIN have really got some depth to them. And at the same time, I think, it's there. I'm sharing them for the first time here within the mindfulness practices or the kind of the course delivery. You do get an opportunity to practice, to really sit with it over a week and start playing with it. So it can generate a lot of conversation, and it'll always, and I think that's the beauty, it generates conversation, because through conversation you get a depth of understanding, because I've explained these acronyms in my terms. At the same time, through conversation you get to expand upon that meaning and what it means for each individual. So really I'm just giving you an outline and illustration now of STOP and RAIN, and how when we create the space between thoughts and we catch that these are simple kind of acronyms that can guide us on a journey to create opportunities and change. Any immediate thoughts or questions?
No, I don't think there is. They certainly make sense. I think from what you've said throughout the entire week is you really have got to be in the moment, and you've got to notice these things. And I think a lot of people don't. They just, to put it in a crass term, they just go off on one and don't actually. And we're all guilty of it. We all do it because we all have that fight or flight, as you quite correctly said. But it's actually noticing that you're about to go off on one.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think, drawing upon some of the things we spoke about yesterday as well about attitudes, I think we have to have self-compassion. We have to understand that everything's a learning opportunity. So we must be kind to ourselves in the first case, so that when we're non-critical. And then when we find ourselves in that situation that it's not what we want, then just take the opportunity to be curious and what is it I want to do different. So drawing upon, am I seeing the reality of what's going on right now, or am I projecting the past into the future, or even into this moment in time? So the 3 short tummy breaths can really kind of start engaging that thinking brain, and can really allow you to take stock of the reality of what's happening right now. And it may just allow you to, slow your voice down, slow your mind down, notice the thoughts and choose different ones. You might do the STOP, you might do RAIN, but it's all about acknowledging what's happening in the body at that particular moment in time. So it's interesting how, I say the word mindfulness is used a lot today in its modern understanding. It's nothing new, but it's come from an ancient past, and it's been I forget what the word is now, but I guess the any kind of faith has been took away from it to make it acceptable to all. And at the same time also can enlighten curiosity for people to go and look further. but it's a very simple and powerful. Sorry, it's simple in that we're talking about just being of noticing what's going on in the moment, and because we are busy people, sometimes we're not used to seeing the reality of what's going on in the moment. So that can be a difficult shift to slow down. But then when we do see the reality of the moment, it starts creating huge possibilities for change.
Yeah.
And something, in fact, I've got something going out today. Oh, I wish I could play it. Can I play it? I'll play it. Let me find that. I'm going to play this.
Okay.
It absolutely. Which one would it be? 1450. Okay, I'm going to try that one. No, it's not that one. Let's try the next one. Because we, as human, here we go. No, not that one. I'm going the wrong way, obviously. Must be the other way around. Yes, brilliant. So you're going to get this. You're going to get this raw footage. Okay. I'm not. Okay. All I'm going to say to this is, sometimes we forget how to play. So this is something I did yesterday. Okay. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, can you see the? I don't. Oh, maybe not the audio. 1 second. I need to do the audio thing again, don't I? Here we go. Hi there. It's woo. I think I've just proved my point. I found a swing. Yeah. So I'm Andrew Embling, and I'm a wellbeing coach based here in Gloucestershire in the UK. And it's Mental Health Awareness Week this week, the 10th to the 16th of May. And yeah, I found a swing. And I guarantee if you find a swing, give it a go, it will make you smile. It will make you chuckle. So yeah, around some of the beauty spots here, there's a company who's put up swings. So I know I'm here at Seedley Ponds, and I know they're at Mallard's Pike, and I'm sure they're elsewhere here in the Forest of Dean. So yeah, if you find a swing, use it, because I guarantee it will make you giggle. It will make you laugh, because it's so easy that we forget how to play. Life can be just a little bit too serious sometimes. So yeah, go and play, have some fun. Take care.
Or watch somebody else having a play, and that'll make you giggle just as much.
Absolutely. I honestly, I was like, I can't resist this, and it was just that thing, just make anything to make you smile.
Yeah, brilliant.
So yeah, I hope that was helpful. And I think thank you to your suggestion, because I think tomorrow I'm really going to kind of bring it all together with the emotional freedom technique.
Okay.
So that's you can spend a good half hour on that too. I think half hour is a good introduction, and it should give it a good information. So that's tomorrow.